News Channel 5 on your side presents Kaleidoscope, focusing on people who make a difference in Northeast Ohio communities.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to have you with us. Hands on Northeast Ohio and United Way of Lorain County have formed a partnership, and they're doing incredible work in Lorain County. The Executive Director of Hands on Northeast Ohio, Jeff Griffiths, is here, and so is Ryan Aroney of United Way of Lorain County. They're here to tell us more about what they're doing. Then later on today, the author and success coach and corporate speaker, Ilinda Reese, will explain how she's helping people reclaim their purpose and passion in their professional and personal lives. And on the broadcast after that, Dr. Bilal Bomani of Believe in Ohio will join me to talk about the mission of his organization, Believe in Ohio. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leon Vibb. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. Beginning with Jeff Griffiths, Executive Director of Hands on Northeast Ohio, Lorain County Volunteer Connection. Good to have you with Jeff on the left here, and Ryan Aroney, Marketing and Development Director for United Way of Lorain County. Let's start with you, Ryan. You brief us basically on what the role that United Way of Lorain County does.
Sure. So in each community that has a United Way, we're completely independent and local, and really United Ways are charged with the mission of responding to the needs of each local community. And so for us in Lorain County, we really take a passion in trying to respond and help out people in greater Lorain County. And we've really, over the past few years, kind of changed our approach. And for many years, United Ways were really recognized and known as being a fundraiser only. We would do a great job fundraising and in turn fund different programs. And we've changed our approach to really try to achieve more and do that through collaboration. So bringing different types of people, different types of organizations together to achieve the most and to help each other achieve the most that we can to ultimately help people in Lorain County.
Yeah, and one of those collaborations is with Hands on Northeast Ohio. Tell us about what Hands On does.
Yes, Hands On is the region's volunteer center. We make it easy for people of all ages to get involved in volunteer projects that are managed and coordinated and led by fellow volunteers that are building capacity in the community. And so Lorain County didn't have a central volunteer resource, and as a part of their collaboration saw our assets as a volunteer coordinator and manager, and we launched this Lorain County Volunteer Connection in February 2014 as a means to mobilize more people and equip them with the tools that they need to advance community and support the work of United Way.
So we got this partnership going on between your two organizations. How is that working now?
It's amazing. It really is. There's such synergy between the two groups, and what we know is that people want to help. They want to respond to the needs that they hear about and see, and that agencies need greater support in volunteer management. And this collaboration allows both things to happen.
You've got the volunteer side.
We've got the volunteer
You're all volunteering, and you're raising money for these organizations and trying to get these two parts together.
Exactly right. And before we formed this partnership, we would get calls from time to time from organizations that we partner with who would either need volunteers or would be looking for a very meaningful project to place a large amount of volunteers. And quite frankly, we didn't have the capacity to follow up with that. And so what this has allowed us to do is focus on what we do really well, and then having an expert in that volunteer field who can place those volunteers and have them have a meaningful volunteer experience, which is important.
Jeff, give me an idea of what kind of volunteering, what kind of volunteers you send to help these organizations.
Sure. Yeah, so volunteers engage with us. They go to a one-time orientation, and then they have access to a calendar of different opportunities. So these are volunteers of all ages, as I said. So we have families with kids 4 to 10. We have teenagers. We have retirees. We have professionals and corporate groups. And they're doing things like delivering meals to shut-in seniors, or engaging with youth at a Boys and Girls Club, or walking dogs at a local animal shelter. But we're, again, eliminating those barriers between people and civic action. Because what we know is, strongest communities are the ones that are the most engaged.
Yeah, isn't that what it's all about? And that's pretty much what United Way does. All of us working together to help those who perhaps need some help.
You're exactly right, and the whole idea is to empower the community to help itself. We all want our community, for us, Greater Lorain County, to be the best it can be, but this isn't about a group of people coming into a neighborhood and telling you what we want your community to be. It's about empowering you to be a part of that change and helping us get to where we all want it to be.
Serving all of Lorain County.
All of Greater Lorain County, yes, sir.
You've got a big event coming up in January. You want to tell me about that, either one of you?
Sure. Coming up in the next few months, we have, in terms of volunteer engagement, monthly volunteer orientations. We also have earned income tax prep volunteers that we're trying to mobilize and engage. So those are kind of two significant things that are kind of on the forefront, as well as Martin Luther King Day, where we'll mobilize and engage people in the community as well.
Yeah, you're looking for volunteers to go, always looking for volunteers, I would imagine. Yeah. You're not turning anybody down. No. Who comes knocking at the door saying, Jeff, let me help? Yeah. Well, what do they do to get in line with you?
Sure. They can visit the United Way website at uwloraincounty.org. Mm-hmm. They can visit the Hands-On website at handsonneo.org, or give us a call as well.
Yeah, we've got some phone numbers at the bottom of the screen. You see those phone numbers. The audience is watching. You can write those numbers down. This is what you need to happen. I mean, you've got the money side over here. Because we got to collect the dollars to do the necessary work in Lorain County, but you also welcome these volunteers coming in as well.
We do, and for us, we have give, advocate, and volunteer are the ways to get involved in the community to help advance this work. And sure, donations are important. They're really the spark that allows us to do this work, but we don't exist and we can't do what we're trying to do without volunteerism. Yeah. That's just as important for us as making a financial donation.
About how many organizations do you have underneath that Lorain County United Way?
It's so interesting as we've expanded our work and really focused more on collaboration. We would traditionally be around 30 partners that we'd work with, and as we've made this transition, we're currently over 150 partners. That
all organizations?
All organizations that are working together to very strategically and specifically advance very specific goals in Lorain County.
There's a phone number you see on the screen, 440-277. You can get more information on everything we're talking about, or you can go to uwloraincounty.org. That's the United Way. And there's another phone number I'm going to put on the screen if we can get that on control room, 216-432-9390, as you see at the bottom of the screen. That's Hands-On, the Hands-On organization, Hands-On NEO, Northeast Ohio, .org, handsonneo.org. Good to have you both gentlemen on the organization. You know, the United Way concept began, well, a long time ago as the United Appeal. Before that, the community chest originated right here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, yes, very proud of
concept,
that.
And then it went nationwide.
You're right.
Right out of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio, Lorain included. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Jeff Griffiths, Executive Director of Hands-On Northeast Ohio for the Lorain County Volunteer Connection, and Ryan Aroney, Marketing and Development Director for United Way of Lorain County. We wish you both well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the broadcast. I'll take a break. This is Kaleidoscope. I'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back to more Kaleidoscope. Good to have you with us today. Author, success coach, and corporate speaker Ilinda Reese joins me now to explain how she's empowering individuals to transform their lives by reclaiming their passions and their purpose in life. Good to see you, Ilinda
Well,
Reese.
thank you.
Yeah.
Leon, it's a pleasure being here.
We sang together on some programs years ago, many years ago.
Traveling over to Sweden and
well,
just loving sharing.
Well, I didn't go to Sweden. You went to Sweden. I went to Cleveland.
You were a wonderful narrator.
Well,
of course.
It was good to be involved as a narrator on your program. You're a success coach, and you're helping people reclaim their lives. How do you do that?
I believe that we need to wake up and understand we're sleeping with the enemy, and the enemy is enemy.
Is enemy.
Is enemy. Because we don't understand that the battleground is for our mind. And what I help people do is understand the internal operations. How we think and what we do is based on what is down in our subconscious. Yeah. And we operate out of that every day.
How do we change that? How do we feel better about ourselves?
Oh my, we've got to get the keys back. We've lost the keys to our house. So we've got to get it back by understanding what it is I believe, what are my limiting belief systems, what is keeping me from moving to that next level. And that's what I do. I help people to determine who really am I and what's holding me back from where I'm trying to go.
You brought across 3 of your books with you. I'm really inspired by this, intrigued, I should say, by this title. If I'm looking for a prince, why am I still kissing frogs?
That's right.
A lot of women, obviously, I guess geared toward women.
Yes.
A lot of women looking for Prince Charming, but keep kissing frogs.
That's right. And so I say as a change accelerator, you've got to stop. And that's why my title is Change Accelerator, because you've got to change what you're doing. You've got to have a mind shift and understand that if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same thing.
Yeah, you get the same results. So what do you tell people to do? What do you tell especially women to do?
I help them to look and see what their patterns are. We all have patterns. They come from our environment, from our family system, from information that's been downloaded. I help them to go through those beliefs and those messages. I call them subconscious messages, or abbreviated sub-mess.
We've got to establish our dreams. What do we do?
We look at what it is, where are we trying to go? Where are you trying to go? And then what's the path to get there? Because a lot of times we're going off sidetrack, but we're not paying attention. This is not going to take me to where I'm trying to get to.
When I wanted to get into this business, when I was a kid, a teenager, I started talking to people who did what I want to do.
That's exactly it. I talked to Les Brown when I first started speaking 20 years ago and said, okay, Les, what's the ups, what's the downs? What is it about the industry? And he said, sometimes I wake up in the hotel room and don't remember what city I'm in. Because I'm traveling. And so you have to be able to look at where you're trying to go and figure out, why am I going there? What's the inspiration? What's the motivation?
Another one of your books is When Vows of Love Turn into Deliberate Acts of Hate.
Yes.
Till death.
Till death.
This is something special. This touches your heart.
Yes.
Till death.
Till death, because a lot of individuals stay in relationships that are negative, and it can be your spiritual death, your physical death, your emotional, all of that. You're just walking through life, just enduring and not enjoying. And so I help you to come to the conclusion as to when it's time to move.
Yeah, where can we find these books, Ilinda Reese?
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com?
Yes, and they can also go to my website as well.
Which is ilindareese.net. You see it at the bottom of the screen. That's ILINDAREESE.net. More information on everything we're talking about.
Yes.
You're trying to save folks' lives here. You're trying to get them on the right track.
Absolutely. Because I believe that we're trying to save our communities, but it starts with the individual and the thought patterns of the individual. If they don't have hope, where are we?
The individual and the family,
yes,
I contend,
yes,
are the building block of any nation.
Absolutely.
That's the building. It starts with thyself and starts with family.
To thine own self be true.
What do you tell folks? How do you tell them to grab a hold of that other than read the book?
Yes.
But how do you tell them, if you could tell them one thing that they need to do to get out of the hole that they may be living in?
I say stop walking. When you see a hole in the sidewalk, stop walking down that street. Take another street. And figure out what it is that you're doing that's not taking you where you want to go. That's the bottom line. What is your passion? If you're not living your passion, then you need to do something different. Change.
I'm intrigued by the subtitle on one of your books here, Don't Talk, Speak. You say, success tips and technique number 1, run like hell or stand your ground.
Yes.
What's that mean?
It means that most people have a fear. Number 1 fear is speaking in public. I've been doing it over 20 years. My dad was Pastor Boone, and so he instructed me, and I watched his life. But most people are afraid of speaking in public. So it's just a matter of standing your ground and learning how to do it well.
Tell me again what you said before we started this broadcast.
I said that most people would rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. And that's because we're afraid. We have our fears. But if you understand that the fears were developed and placed in your subconscious, then you'll be able to work through that. Once you know the system, you can work the system.
Let me put a phone number on the screen and a website as well for Ilinda Reese, author, success coach, and corporate speaker, 216-323-5601. You can find more information from her over there, or you can go to ilindareese.net and Ilinda, I-L-I-N-D-A, Reese.net. More information on everything we're talking about. Books available on the website.
And I'm the only Islander you'll ever meet.
Well, and you're a wonderful Islander, too.
Thank
and
you.
it's good to see you again, Ilinda.
Yes, it is.
It is good to hear your voice once more.
Thank you, Leon, for the invitation.
You'll have to come back.
Yes.
Keep us on the right road. Okay. I'll be right back in a moment. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. Good to have you with me. Dr. Bilal Bomani is the Cleveland Metro Inclusive Competitive Coordinator for the organization Believe in Ohio. and he joins me this afternoon to explain the mission of Believe in Ohio. Dr. Mamani will also talk about the need for mentors for the Urban STEM Mentoring Network and promoting STEM education and entrepreneurship as well. STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, trying to get the kids involved in that.
Absolutely.
Good to have you with us.
I'm great to be here.
Give me a thumbnail description of what Believe in Ohio is trying to do.
Okay, Believe in Ohio is an organization that's fostering STEM entrepreneurship. We're losing our technology edge in the United States, and one of the things that we're trying to do in Ohio is make sure that we are at the table when all the technology funds are being distributed. And they're being distributed with STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So Believe in Ohio has actually given away almost $1 million in scholarships last year. One of the reasons why I'm here is of that $1 million, very few went to urban areas. So my task here actually is to identify 100 STEM mentors in urban areas.
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
And that's your background.
Absolutely.
Is in that.
I'm a STEM
actually,
professional.
You actually teach these classes. Where
Yes.
do you teach at?
I teach America's favorite subject. I call it mathematics. So I know that people laugh, but it's true.
But no, it's a
Cleveland State University. I'm in a faculty at Cleveland State, adjunct faculty at Tri-C Metro down the street, and I'm also adjunct faculty at Lorain County Community College.
My sister Shirley Bibb Blackwell graduated with a degree in mathematics. She loves it. She loves it, and a lot of folks do. So you're trying to get folks signed up.
Yes.
To help young people coming along the way.
Yes.
How vital is this for America to move forward?
Well, one of the difficulties is when you achieve some type of success in the United States, you have an obligation to give back. So we have a philosophy, reach one, teach one. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah.
And so if you're a STEM professional or a business professional willing to provide 1 hour a month, it's just 1 hour a month, to engage a young person, to guide them along the way. And one of the benefits is, being in Believe in Ohio, is we'll give you the tools that it takes to be a STEM professional, to be a STEM entrepreneur, and at the end of the rainbow, we have a competition where you can win up to $20,000 college scholarship. So one good thing I will tell you, we're making a good headway in the Cleveland area. We signed up 150 students over the last 2 weeks. I've now amassed about 80 mentors, and we're searching for 100 mentors in 90 days.
How do the mentors and the students hook up with Believe in Ohio?
Right. Believe in Ohio, we have a website, Believe in Ohio /mentor-sign-up. I know it's quite long. Hopefully we can get it on there. But you can actually contact me directly. And so you have the number there is 216-577-2145. One of the things that we're going to do in the next 3 weeks, we're going to have what we call a powwow. And we're going to engage all the mentors to let them know what we're trying to do for the students. And December 10th, I know you always say you have an event coming up.
Yeah.
December 10th, we have a Believe in Ohio Forum at Cleveland State University. And if a young person is interested or an educator, the seats are filling up fast. And that day we have outstanding speakers present to the students. They have a STEM competition, and we introduce them to Believe in Ohio system.
Let's look at your life. What was it that made you decide that you wanted to be in STEM, that you wanted to be a mathematics major?
Right.
You said you've got several college degrees. What was it that made you want to do that? And how can we learn from what you did? How can we take that to the young people?
Super. I'm actually writing an article right now said the new global currency is not money, it's STEM education. I'm a living example of that. I grew up in Paterson, New Jersey, and as I told you, they made that movie Lean On Me. That was my senior class. But music actually got me interested in math. I was a good musician. One of my math teachers said, the more math you know, the more money you're going to make. I went to Delaware State University. My professor there says, hey, you know something? You got a gift. You need to use it, but share it with others. I came to Cleveland, and the weirdest thing was, I thought it was Cleveland, Tennessee I was going to, so I have to tell that. And so I came to Cleveland, Ohio, and a light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And so I have 6 college degrees. My PhD is from Case Western Reserve. I have a master's degree from Cleveland State. And I always tell, when people ask me, well, how are you passing that off? And I'm proud to say today that I have 2 daughters in medical school. They're STEM. My youngest daughter just got the Joan C. Edwards Scholarship at Case for free undergrad and free medical school. So I actually talk the talk, walk the walk, and hopefully my kids and we can do the same thing. So I use my family as an example to say, listen, we want to be the leaders of the world, not just the U.S., and STEM is a cornerstone of that activity.
So if you're a professional in the science, technologies, engineering, or mathematics area,
Yes.
or you're a student who wants to get in there and one needs to be inspired, they should make a phone call.
Please.
216-577-2145. We got that telephone number on the screen. Or you can go to believeinohio.org/mentor-sign up.
Yes.
You can go in more information to believeinohio.org. Many thanks, Dr. Bilal Bomani. Good to have you with us.
All right.
And we're glad you found Cleveland, Ohio, and not Cleveland, Tennessee.
That's correct.
There is a Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yes.
I stopped there once and got gas on my way.
Thank you very much.
Gasoline. I may have gotten gas when I ate in the restaurant, but it was fine. Cleveland, Tennessee, don't write me. I love you too. I'll be right back in just a moment.
Great.
The Morning Exchange segment, that means Marcia Maccabee of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, its president and CEO, joins us. She's always got something important to say.
Thank you, Leon.
I get the feeling it's important today, too.
Well, I certainly hope so. I'll tell you, I was intrigued by some of the things that I heard today on the broadcast as we, heard about volunteerism and the importance of that and how we build communities, and intrigued by the segment that really talked about personal development. So I kind of wanted to pick up on that. And I just really, as I'm out and about on Saturdays, one of the things that I always see is on families out with their children on Saturday mornings. And I'll tell you, the thing that just warms my heart is when I see families where the parents are engaged with the children when we're out having meals with them, when we are talking to the children, encouraging the children to talk to us. That time is so important to engage with children. And I think we don't understand how the value of the relationship is impacted when we're sitting at a table and we're not engaging with our children. We're on the phone or we're doing whatever. I know those things are important, and I use technology too, but I have a rule. When I cook the meal at my house and I'm serving the dinner, everybody's phone is off.
Turn the phone off, turn the TV
That's
off.
Exactly right.
And let's communicate.
And let's communicate. It's important.
I remember sitting at the table with my parents. They're both gone now.
Yes.
But I remember sitting at the table, remembering those conversations. That's where everything took place.
Yes.
Whether we were in a restaurant, which we were rarely in restaurants, but but in the house, eating around the kitchen table.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's what you're talking about.
And
Okay.
those memories last.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Marcia.
You're welcome.
That's going to do it for us. Running late. Got to say goodbye. Take care.
This has been a presentation of News Channel 5's Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.